Hi everyone, my name's Allison and I am your Vinted Value Mama. Today I'm going to be talking to you about everything I bought off Vinted for my family in November. I really wanted to start making this series because I think a lot of people hear a lot of horror stories online about what can go wrong when you're buying secondhand clothes. And of course, people talk about the horror stories much more often than they talk about the success stories. So I really wanted to put some more positivity out there in the world, spread some good news, show you the great deals you can find on Vinted. But I don't think I've ever had this many headaches just trying to buy clothes for my family. So, you're going to hear some success stories this month, but you're also going to hear about some common problems if you're buying on Vinted. Because it seemed like we had a lot of common problems. Let's see if we can fill up our Vinted common problem bingo card. Up first, I'm going to talk about the clothes I bought for my husband this month. I saw this wool sort of cardigan, and I've really been wanting to get him more wool clothing for the winter. I really liked that I could see the tag and knew that it was actually wool, and I really liked that the seller had listed the measurements because my husband is a big guy and sometimes I buy things for him and the poor guy just can't wear them. The sweater was a really good price. I think the total I paid for it with shipping, with everything included, was €5 and 24 cents. Now, when the sweater arrived, I was a bit disappointed to see there was a rather big hole in it. Um, it is normal when you're looking for a wool sweater in this price range that there will be some imperfections, some defects. But the seller is supposed to list those things in the description. And the seller had not listed anything in the description. Do you think this is a problem? I could just not buy things that didn't have a very thorough description, but it is Vinted's policy that you're supposed to list any defects in the description. It's not up to me, it's Vinted's policy. Anyway, this is the sweater. I've sewn up the hole so you can't really see it anymore. My husband really likes it. It is quite cozy when he's sitting at his computer all night long. And I think it was a pretty good value for €5 and 24 cents, something like that. I saw another wool sweater on Vinted that I really liked. I liked the polo collar. I thought that would look really good on my husband under a sweatshirt or something. Let's see, what else? I did not like that there were no measurements, and I did not like that there was no picture of the tag. But the seller wrote in the description, like, virgin wool, which was very intriguing to me. It's so specific. And I thought, okay, maybe this is actually wool. I also really liked the price, I'm not gonna lie. It was €2, and we've got free shipping here in Austria, so the price was €2 and 80 cents for a new sweater for my husband. I thought, absolutely, why not? And then I waited a week and the buyer never sent it. The buyer did send me a message, sort of at the last minute, that they were on vacation or something. Could I please extend the deadline to ship it so that they can get the item out to me? And I did extend the deadline, and then I waited around for another week, and the buyer never sent it. So that's definitely a problem on Vinted. It's one that I've run into a few times recently, and it's not the biggest problem in the world. Let's be honest, it's a first world problem. I'm getting the money back from Vinted, easy peasy. The only annoying part is that winter is coming. I've now wasted 2 weeks of November trying to get another wool sweater for my husband, and that didn't happen. By the way, my husband specifically told me that he doesn't need any Christmas presents this year because I've been buying so many clothes for him. One thing. He got one thing this month. I think one thing last month, too. We have different definitions of so many clothes, I think. So that was it for my husband. Next up, we have kids' clothes. And we're going to start off on a positive note with these snow boots. My daughter does already have one pair of snow boots, but here in the mountains, you definitely need more than one pair. So I wanted to get her another pair of snow boots that are really sort of hardcore, and these ones look so hardcore. They were awesome. The listing said they were in good condition, and I could see just a couple little scuffs on them, which didn't bother me whatsoever. You can tell that the soles were in really good condition. They're not in great condition now because she's been wearing them for a couple weeks, and they smell like a cow. But at the time that they came, they were in amazing condition. Even all the fur inside wasn't all matted down. It was like they had never been worn, basically. The listing had been up for a few months already, so I did see if the seller would knock €1 off the price for me, but they refused that, so I paid the listing price, and with shipping and everything, that came to €6.39. So I would say a really great value for warm, waterproof, wonderful winter boots for my little girl. I was also interested in buying a wool sweater for my daughter, because she's getting cold too these days. And I wanted to shop in the women's section for her for a couple reasons. She is already wearing the clothes that are really small on me, so wearing a women's sweater isn't really anything new to her. You can get, I think, better prices on some things in the women's section, and especially on wool sweaters, because there are quite a few sweaters out there that started off as a medium or a large, and then they've shrunk a bit. And now they're more suitable for a 9-year-old than they are for me. I was hoping to take advantage of one of those sort of defective sweaters. I sent the seller an offer on this sweater. Again, it had been listed for a little while. I wanted to knock €1 off. The seller sent me a counter offer, and I accepted. And then the next day, the seller canceled the order. They said it was because they didn't have the sweater anymore. I don't know. I don't know why they would send a counter offer if they didn't even want to sell it to me. So, that was a problem I faced on Vinted this month. Then I decided I'm gonna buy a different sweater, and it was sort of the same process over again. I found one that had been up for a few months. I sent the seller an offer, just trying to knock €1 off. The seller replied to me that they would check to see if they still had the sweater and then get back to me. And after what had just happened, I really appreciated that. But then the seller just ghosted me, which is another big problem on Vinted. Anytime you're trying to talk to a seller. Now, is this really a problem again, or is it not? You can just not buy something if the seller is being uncommunicative. It's not really a big deal. It can be a bit discouraging, though, when you find something specific that you really want and then the seller just doesn't get back to you about it. But I was moving on. Next up, I had a bundle with 5 things for my daughter. So every year I do a full-on Christmas photo shoot with my daughter. And usually I find a cute little winter dress or something. But this year I thought, why don't we do Christmas pajamas? That would be cute. I found this listing for Christmas pajamas, and I really liked that they were 100% cotton. I will try and buy natural fibers for my family, especially when it's something that's pretty easy to find, like a wool sweater or cotton pajamas. And it seemed like the seller was sort of a mama after my own heart. She had a lot of things that were listed as 100% cotton, and so I decided to get a bundle. I got the pajamas, a simple long sleeve t-shirt, 2 pairs of leggings, which I was very intrigued by, because you don't often find leggings that are 100% cotton. You can find jeans and trousers that are 100% cotton, but leggings generally have a bit of stretch to them. And then I also got her a pair of stockings, just because she's wearing stockings almost every day now that it's getting a bit colder outside. We have the Christmas pajamas here. They're not in bad condition, except that the tags were cut out. Now, I can understand this. My daughter gets annoyed by the tags too, but I do feel like that's a defect that should have been mentioned in the description. Also, difficult to say if these are 100% cotton or not, because the tag's been cut out. Long sleeve t-shirt for her. Difficult to say if it's 100% cotton or not, because the tag's been cut out. Little leggings. Ironically, not difficult to say if they're 100% cotton or not, because the tags are still in these, and they are definitely not. So they just misunderstood or lied about what these leggings are made of. And the little stockings, these were listed as new. I think they probably were new. The fabric doesn't feel like it's ever been washed or anything. They're fine. if I was the kind of person who actually did laundry properly, instead of just throwing it in the machine like I'm 18 years old, I would be really annoyed that the tags are cut out. And since I am the kind of person who tries to buy natural fibers whenever I can, I also am very annoyed that the tags were cut out. But it wasn't a bad price. €9 and 28 cents for the entire bundle. I don't know. Do you think this is a real problem? Or do you think I'm probably just a bit stressed about Thanksgiving and Christmas? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on to the women's section. And again, we're starting off on a high note with this winter jacket. I have a few winter jackets, but we have a big farm here. And the winter jacket that I use every morning when I feed the pigs is not suitable for wearing out to lunch or running errands. So I wanted something that was a bit smarter, and I wanted something that would keep me unbelievably warm because I'm a California girl who lives in Austria. I'm always very cold. I saw this coat for €8, which is a fabulous price for a winter coat, but it had been up for about 6 months already, so I sent the seller an offer and they accepted. Altogether, I think I paid $9.98 or something. It's United Colors of Benetton, United Colors of Venetian. I don't really know how to say that. It's high protection performance, 50% down, 50% feather, special jacket created by the Frost Research Department, Benetton Industries, against cold weather. And I just love that so much. I love that it's actually down and feather filling, that it's not polyester. That's going to keep me a lot warmer. And I love that it was crafted by the Special Research Department. I'm not a scientist. I don't know what I need to wear to stay warm, but I felt like this was a good option. It is really warm. I really like it. I've worn it out a few times already, but when it arrived, it had just a few little scrapes and stains, sort of here and there. It's a cream jacket, so everything is really going to show up on it. And it was only listed in good condition, but the seller could have said in the description that it's got a couple little scuffs on it. That's all I'm saying. Since I am getting ready for winter now, I knew that I needed more sort of winter basics. For me this year, that's going to be big, oversized wool sweaters and leggings. So I found 2 different listings, one for a wool sweater and one for a pair of beige leggings. The wool sweater popped up on my recommended feed 6 weeks ago, and I've had my eye on it ever since. And nobody else was interested in it because it wasn't a very good listing. It only had 2 photos of the sweater, and the color was drastically different colors in each of the photos. It didn't have any real information in the listing. It didn't even say that it was wool, but I could see on the tag that it was merino wool, and I wanted it. It was also a great price. So it was $4.50 with our free shipping here in Austria. I knew that was going to be a really good deal, but no one else was interested in it. So I sent the seller an offer for €3 and he or she accepted. I was really excited to talk about sort of the red flags on this listing. The seller didn't have great reviews. It was only in good condition. You couldn't see anything from the photos. And I really wanted to see what the sweater was actually going to be like in person. I was very curious. And when it arrived, the seller had sent the wrong item. Another problem for the bingo card. The seller sent sort of a brown t-shirt instead of a brown sweater, and so I had to send it back. Now, luckily, here in Austria, we've got the free shipping, so it didn't cost me anything to send that back to the seller, but normally it would actually be my responsibility to cover the cost of return shipping, which is crazy. I asked the seller once it was returned if they're still interested in selling the sweater or not, but they ghosted me. No idea what that was about. I also got a nice pair of beige leggings to go with my new sweater, and as I was trying to deal with the shipping label and taking it back to the post office, the seller for those leggings sent me a message and said they realized they accidentally sent me the wrong item. I have never had this happen to me in all my purchases on Vinted, and now it happened twice in 2 days. I couldn't believe it. Nothing but problems this month. I also had last month ordered a pair of beige leggings that the shipping took forever, and in the end they weren't able to be delivered, but that does not go on the bingo card because that's from last month. And then I ordered another pair of beige leggings that the seller never shipped me. It's a real theme happening this month. I told you I wanted big oversized sweaters and leggings, and I've been shopping a lot in the men's department for that. They have really good prices in the men's department. But I decided I wanted something a bit feminine for once. Maybe to wear to Thanksgiving or New Year's Eve or a nice lunch date with my husband. Something a bit more girly. And I found this listing. The photos were really bad, but the description was really good. I could see that it was 100% cotton, which is what I was going for. I could see that it had a nice V-neck and the 3/4 arms. I really like that for when I'm doing the dishes or working in the kitchen. And I had the measurements, so I knew it would still be a bit oversized on me, and I got this lovely brown sweater, which I quite like. No complaints, no problems about this sweater. It's perfectly fine. It's not massively oversized, but I think it's well suited for a pair of leggings and a Thanksgiving dinner. It was listed for €5, but it had been up for a while, so I sent the seller an offer for €3, and he or she accepted. So in the end, it was €4.28, something like that. The last thing I'm going to talk about this month is this wool sweater I bought for my daughter. It's an extra small. It's 100% wool. I thought she would really like it. Now you might be wondering to yourself, Allison, why are you talking about children's clothes? This is the women's section. Well, here is a picture of me wearing my new large sweater, and here is a picture of me wearing my daughter's new extra small sweater. Very annoying. I don't think this is a case of the brands just being crazy because it is listed as a 2, which I believe in France is like a medium or a large. But it had measurements in the description. I checked the measurements against my daughter's sweaters that she has now to make sure that they would fit her. I guess the seller is just really bad at using a tape measurer. I don't know, but we can put wrong measurements on the bingo card now. Now, the good news is that I spent just over 40 euros and I did get a lot of good winter clothes for my family this month. I didn't actually end up wasting any money on Vinted, except for maybe that last sweater. What I wasted this month was time, and only you can decide how valuable your time is, especially during the holiday season. If I haven't completely scared you off of Vinted, check out this video of the 7 things you should know before you start shopping. And have a great day. Bye!